Welcome to Interview Reality. Imagine you are having a casual coffee break with a colleague, and the conversation turns to your career, what you want, where you see yourself in a few years, and what is holding you back. These are the real conversations that happen in offices every day. Today, David and Emma are sitting down for coffee, and they end up having exactly that kind of honest, open career conversation. Let's listen. Do you have a few minutes for a coffee? I need a break from my screen, honestly.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same. Let's go.
So, how have you been? I feel like we haven't properly caught up in weeks. How's everything going?
Honestly, it's been okay. Busy, but I've been doing a lot of thinking lately. About work, about where I'm heading, that kind of thing.
Oh, really? Like what? I'm curious.
I don't know. I think I'm at a point where I'm asking myself some bigger questions. Am I growing? Am I doing what I actually want to do? Or am I just comfortable?
That's a big question. What's prompting it?
A few things. I've been in this role for over 2 years now, and while I enjoy most of it, I'm starting to feel like I've stopped learning as fast as I used to. The first year was all new. New systems, new clients, new challenges. Now everything feels more predictable.
That makes sense. 2 years is usually when people start asking those questions. Predictability can be comforting, but it can also be a sign that you're ready for something more.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is this restlessness a sign I should push for something new, or is it just a normal phase I'll grow out of?
What does your gut tell you?
My gut says I need more. Whether that's more responsibility, more complexity, or a completely different direction, I'm not sure yet. But standing still isn't working for me.
Okay, so let's talk about what more could look like. Have you thought about what your ideal next step would be?
I have, actually. I'd love to move into a role where I have some leadership responsibility. Not necessarily managing a huge team, but leading a small group. Being responsible for strategy, not just execution.
That's a clear vision. Have you talked to your manager about it?
Sort of. I spoke with HR recently, and they suggested a 90-day development plan focused on strategic thinking and project leadership. So there's a path, it's just going to take time.
That's actually a really good sign. A lot of companies don't offer structured development plans. The fact that they took your request seriously and gave you a concrete plan, that means they see potential in you.
That's a fair point. I hadn't really thought about it that way. I was so focused on how long it might take that I forgot to appreciate that there's a plan at all.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
What scares you most about moving up? Because everyone has something, even if they don't talk about it.
Honestly, failure. Not failing in a big dramatic way, but failing quietly. Taking a bigger role and realizing I'm not actually as ready as I thought. Having to face that in front of a team that's counting on me.
That's a very real fear, and it's actually more common at senior levels than people admit. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never feel that. They're the ones who move forward anyway.
That's encouraging to hear. Sometimes I wonder if I'm the only one who feels that way.
You're definitely not. I felt it when I took on my current role. I remember my first week thinking, I have no idea what I'm doing. And then one day, about 6 months in, I realized I actually did know what I was doing. It just took time.
So you just have to push through the uncomfortable period?
Pretty much. The discomfort is actually the growth. If you're not uncomfortable, you're probably not learning fast enough.
That's a good way to look at it. It helps.
What about you? Where do you see yourself in 3 years, honestly?
3 years. I'd like to be leading a team, maybe 4 or 5 people, doing work that combines client strategy with team development. Something where I'm shaping decisions, not just implementing them.
That's very specific. Most people can't answer that question clearly. That alone tells me you're ready for more.
Thanks. What about you? Where do you see yourself?
That's a good question. I've been in a senior individual contributor role for a while, and I've been happy there, but lately I've been thinking about moving into management properly. I've mentored a few junior people informally, and I really enjoyed it. There's something about watching someone grow that I find more rewarding than finishing a project on my own.
I can see that. You're naturally good at coaching people. You've done it with me plenty of times without calling it that.
Have I? That's nice to hear.
Yeah, you have. When I was stressed about the Hartley account last year, you didn't tell me what to do. You asked me questions and let me figure it out. That's coaching.
I didn't realize it had that kind of impact, but I'm glad.
So, what's holding you back from moving into management?
Honestly, a bit of fear. I'm good at what I do now. If I move into management, I become less of an expert and more of a generalist. I worry about losing the skills I've built up.
That's a real concern, but the skills don't disappear, they just shift. Instead of being the person who does the work, you become the person who makes the work possible for others.
That's a nice way of framing it. I hadn't thought about it quite like that.
Well, you're always giving me perspective on my situation. I thought I'd return the favor.
Fair enough. What else have you been thinking about? Anything outside of work goals?
A bit. I've been thinking about learning something new that isn't directly tied to my job. Maybe getting back into writing or learning a new language. Just something that stretches a different part of my brain.
Why now?
Because I think all this focus on career growth has made me realize I'm not growing in other ways. My whole identity is wrapped up in work, and that doesn't feel healthy in the long run.
That's insightful. A lot of ambitious people don't notice that until much later. What would you pick if you had to choose one?
Probably writing. I used to write a lot when I was younger. I miss it.
Then do it. 30 minutes a day. You don't have to become a novelist. You just have to start.
You make it sound so easy.
It is easy. The hard part is being consistent, but 30 minutes is manageable for anyone.
Okay, I'll try it. Starting this weekend.
Good. I'll check in with you next week. Accountability helps.
Deal. What about you? Is there something outside of work you've been wanting to do?
I have been wanting to travel more. Real travel, slow travel, spending weeks somewhere rather than a quick weekend. I keep saying I'll do it next year, and then next year comes and I don't.
What's stopping you?
The same thing that stops everyone. Work feels urgent, travel feels like a luxury, so the luxury always loses.
Maybe it shouldn't.
You're right, maybe it shouldn't.
You just told me to start writing. Same rule applies to you. Book a trip, even a small one.
Fair point. I'll look into it this week.
See? Accountability works both ways.
It really does. You know what I like about this conversation? It's the first time in a while I've actually talked about my own goals out loud with someone. Usually I'm helping other people think through theirs.
Same for me, honestly. I talk about my goals with HR, but that's a structured process. This feels different. It's just real.
Maybe that's what we need more of at work. Honest conversations without an agenda.
Definitely. We should do this more often. Same time next week?
Agreed. And next week you tell me how the writing is going.
And you tell me where you're planning to go on that trip.
Deal.
All right, back to the grind. Thanks for this, Emma. I needed it more than I realized. Sometimes a 10-minute honest conversation is worth more than a whole afternoon of strategy meetings. It clears your head in a way nothing else does.
Same here, David. I think we both got something valuable out of this. Let's get back to it.
Thanks for watching Interview Reality. I hope this conversation helped you see what a real career-focused chat between two colleagues sounds like in English. How to talk about growth, ambition, doubts, and goals naturally and honestly. These are the kinds of conversations that actually shape your career path, and now you have the real phrases to have them yourself. If you found this useful, please subscribe to Interview Reality so you never miss a new conversation. See you in the next one.